But anyway,
I'd say so.
Battlefield.
Yeah, Battlefield. Yeah.
We're here. So yeah, and then there's the so then everything's going to kind of shit really. Like everything's going wrong. Everybody's being evacuated. The destroyer's about to be summoned. And then
Potentially, like more games like kind of on edge, maybe, but like you can kind of, as it's kind of hinted at by the destroyer himself, like she's kind of afraid to.
Yeah, definitely. And so then the Doctor gives Ace and what's her face? Shu. Ace and Shu some chalk to draw a circle. And there's this really good scene in there, which doesn't, like when you first watch it, but when you actually analyse it, is really good. When like they're talking to each other and just like, did you call me stupid?
Yeah.
When they're playing with their minds. But then they go on to the nobody wants you, I bet your parents didn't even like you. And that sets up then the Curse of Fendrich, where we do actually go into about Ace's family life. Yeah. And they really do actually start to go, I mean, they started in The Greatest Show in the Galaxy doing Ace's Fear, which was clowns. And then they were like, okay, let's actually give Ace a proper background. So this is actually the first time they gave a proper kind of background. I mean, Nissan had a kind of a bit, but that was kind of more by luck than actually planning. This one they actually planned to give it slowly. So like they show that Ace is actually pretty vulnerable and kind of scared of being unwanted, because they're obviously doing the worst things that they can hear on a family show. I mean, they couldn't exactly start swearing at each other.
Yeah.
Like, you...
But that scene does go from like 0 to 100 like so quickly.
Yeah, it's like a boring scene to, oh my god, and then I love it when they're just sitting in the circle and they turn around and there's just more games staring down at them. Like, that would have been creepy as hell if I was there. I would be like, oh shit, like, if that had happened. But that was a really good scene. And then the Destroyer appears, and my god, she's like, and you could be his handmaidens in hell. And it's like the credits coming. I was like, damn, that was like, watching that back then, I would have been like, that would have given me nightmares. Like, that looks scary. If I was like a 5-year-old, the Destroyer would give me nightmares. Like, look at that. It's like, that's like something you'd find in a proper horror movie in like those times. Like, maybe a bit more, something like the Twilight Zone is what I'd relate that to.
Probably a bit more muted colours, since the Destroyer's a bit bright.
Yeah, it's a bit blue. And I think they should have used contact lens eyes. If they did it nowadays, it would be pretty good. That happened. For those who don't know, Conrad just picked up his water and the coaster came with it. So, excitement in the podcasting room. But so the actress who was playing Morgane was really good.
Oh yeah.
I found the nails a bit annoying, but I love the kind of like even the hand gesture she did when she was taking down the helicopter. It's like she does this really kind of like we're
it's a constant threat, and like you can sort of see, like, if she wanted to, she could, like, destroy everything around, destroy, like, she's like this really powerful, like, being, but at the same time, like, she's honourable. I kind of mentioned this earlier, but this kind of interesting kind of, not really clash of personality, but it's kind of it kind of two-sidedness in a way.
Yeah, like, not just complete evil who's evil because she needs to be evil. No. She actually has like motive of she wants to kill Arthur and take over the world. She wants to
have a final bout with Arthur.
Yeah, and that's what she wants, and it's just good. It's just good, and how
which leads to more development at the end, because
with
there was a thing between her and Arthur.
Yeah, I think she kind of liked him a bit. Kind of like love to hate him kind of thing. But yeah, so then they're like there, and then like the Destroyer like destroys the entire pub, which was pretty dramatic. That was cool with the explosion. How like he runs in and is like, he's about to run in, and then it's another explosion, knocking him back.
What is Peter gonna come back to?
Oh yeah, well, Brexit, he can vote leave, and but anyway, so then they go through, and then there's that portal where like they do the spinning around.
Oh yeah, I can picture that without like the CG in it, and the
just them on the set just going
just to mess McCoy in the Brigadier.
But like, it actually looked quite good for a portal for once. Like usually the portals look a bit rubbish.
Did, but I think there's more the fact that it was less of like, we're looking forward into this weird portal, and rather
it was more looking out through the portal.
Yeah, through the portal, which kind of hits like the clash of like the Vatican and the Thing, like, which is a trap that other stories fell into.
Yeah.
So music's limitations to its advantage there, I think, worked out quite nicely.
Yeah, and then they end up at the castle because that's got something to do with it. But
well, it does, because that was where they were doing the whole summoning things and stuff.
And that was good. And then Morgane's just like, oh, you're playing chess, and he's like, no, I'm playing poker, and I've got an ace up my sleeve. That ace sort of appears
forward,
like
and just knocks
pulls
her off.
No, that was really good. I love that line. That was like. That was just classic kind of a classic Doctor Who line, really. Because it was just so well done. And like even like Sophia, like it's like, oh, very funny, like is what Ace says. And they go outside, and then the Brigadier
knocks the Doctor out.
Actually,
I want to bring this up here, but throughout the episode, Ace has a constant distrust of the Brigadier, and some sort of jealousy.
Yeah, and that was another thing I liked as well.
Which is interesting, though. I think that if there had been more scenes between them, that probably could have been expanded a bit. Because like it's just like I think in the scene in the pub is when they first bring it out, and she just doesn't like him.
I guess it feels because she could be replaced.
Yeah, it's
like
true. That is what she said. Like, and she didn't like feeling like the latest one. Yeah,
I think that might be in the extended version. I'm not sure. I can't really remember that scene.
Perhaps.
Need to compare.
Well, if that wasn't in the extended cut, then her line of like, what was it? You scumbag. Like when
that
is. I know that is. But like that line makes more sense in the context of her.
I think that might be actually a cut scene where they're talking like that.
Then that does make a bit less sense in the fact that why would she be so angry at him? Minus the fact that she just knocked out the Doctor. It does help. I think the extended cut in that regard helps to kind of expand the lore.
She does a really good make you look where he's like, oh my word, a spaceship. Like even I kind of believed him when he said that. I was expecting like camera look, and I remembered he does the karate chop. I wish he said Venusian karate. I wish he said that.
But that was the really Doctor's thing, not really.
I know, but he could have taught the Brigadier a bit, but and he goes off, and then like that final conversation between the Destroyer and the Brigadier is amazing. Like, are you the best this world can muster? And he's like, no, I just do the best I can. But yeah, one problem is when the Doctor goes over and he's like, oh, you should have died in bed. Like, you can actually already see the Brigadier actually moving his face a bit. It's like, Doctor, if you just look down, because he is still alive. Calm down, dude. Like, don't get all excited on us, and So one last thing before you go on to the good, the bad, and nerdy.
Well, actually, we also need to cover the very end there, because that's not the end of the story.
Yeah. There's the nuclear thing.
The nuke.
Yeah, the nuke. So then because there's this nuclear bomb nearby for some reason. It's just kind of just like moving it about, I guess. But anyway, so Morgane is there, and
Princess Adolf, and Mordred has his final battle with
Alan.
After knocking out
Anselin.
Winifred.
After knocking out Winifred, and basically the Doctor kind of talks Morgane out.
And actually, I really love the speech he says. He's kind of got it pinned about like.
Yeah, it's such a good.
So well done, like.
It is. It's and that. That scene's just great.
Just convincing him not to.
I love it when they're having the fight and the Doctor just walks between them and just raises his hat. Good day. And they just look at him. And they carry on. That's when it's comic and it works really well.
But actually, well, the speech was genius in the fact that it just kind of because the Doctor played in the whole honour thing, like the fact that if he said
loads of
innocent people, and the fact would be that it wouldn't be honourable and stuff, and then she stopped and she wanted to face Arthur, and then clearly heartbroken after the Doctor finally revealed like no. It's the fact it was all propaganda.
But like, I wonder where they are now, because they got locked up. They didn't die, the Mordred and Morgane. They get locked up, so they're still out there.
Apparently, they got locked up at least, like because of course they could have somehow escaped, but like they just sort of disappeared.
They get locked up. That's it. But it was good. One earlier scene when there's that massive battlefield going on near the area, and then the Doctor runs in there and is like, stop, and it's like stop this battle now. but there's nobody else around them. They're like separate. Anselin's and Mordred's battles over there, while the rest of the battles over there.
Yeah.
They should have moved that over to there. So then there was this massive battle, then everybody stopped when the Doctor shouted. That would have been more powerful. But I love when the Doctor has a sword around it and then Morgaine like calls his bluff. And then the Brigadier comes up and is like, ch-ch. That's really cool.
And then she's like, die honourably, my son.
Yeah, they're like that. That's ouch. And they take him. But yeah, it's just a really good story.
What's the other thing I was going to say? Oh yeah, just the fact that, how now is, Alan guy.
Anselin.
Yeah, Anselin. Now that he's like, because you see him at the end. Well, actually, we'll discuss the end in a bit.
Yeah.
But, Anselin's just sort of now.
Still there.
Yeah.
What's he
despite
doing?
the fact he's come from this parallel universe and like.
Well, I guess
for
he
a long
loves
time.
Winifred.
Yeah.
I guess.
And
that felt a bit kind of like they fell in love too quickly, and there wasn't anything.
I'd say there was like a decent amount of.
There was some small bits.
There was. Well, it didn't necessarily. You didn't need long periods of it. They were kind of throughout the story. You could tell while they were kind of wrestling each other and like constantly like they were getting on each other's nerves. You could see there was something there. And it did actually, I think, build up quite nicely.
I did love the bit actually when Winifred like opened the top of the car and was just shooting with the machine gun out of it.
Have you ever driven? No.
Good.
Hold the wheel.
It was so great. It was just enjoyable.
But yeah, now I want to talk about the very ending, like with the Brigadier's
very
house.
Final scene at the Brig's house.
I don't think
it's
really worked. Yeah.
Why would Winifred go shopping in her army gear?
Well, yeah, not only that, but why is she there? Doesn't she have more important jobs to do now? Doesn't she need to file reports?
True.
And like, you know, it just doesn't really work. Like, the Doctor's sitting in the garden, and then like the girls decide to drive off with Bessie. So I guess the Doctor says to cook dinner, and then it ends.
I kind of like it though, but yeah,
in a way, it kind of works. But at the same time, after all of like the explosions, the deaths, and all that, like it doesn't.
I think it
clashes with the rest of the episode and just feels kind of
tacked on.
I think
it was supposed to be originally them telling Doris.
Yes.
But then they still need to fill that scene, so they just rewrote it to be more kind of a cheerful, chipper kind of thing.
Yes.
Also, if it took the Brigadier helicopter to get all the way from where they were, to go all the way to where the Doctor and Ace were from his house, they would have had to have gone a bloody long way to get to the Brig's house. Think where the TARDIS was.
Yeah.
They'd have to go all the way to Brig's house, then all the way back again, which was like, you know, a day helicopter.
Well, they showed Bessie is very fast. Like.
Yeah, true. Oh, I love that when it's like, it moves quickly. But
they just stop the car and then the Doctor attached this thing to the front, whatever that.
I guess that was like a fuel thing, I guess. That's what I kind of guessed it was. I mean, they never really went into detail about it, but yeah.
Also, another place now, Who's 7?
Oh yeah, that was kind of okay. I wasn't too bothered really.
It keeps changing, but yeah, it works enough.
It works, yeah. So 3 good things, 3 best things about the episode, Conrad.
So I would say the building on the lore. Like, having, like, more there with the Doctor being Merlin and all that.
Really adding more to the universe.
More to the universe, more to the Doctor, and, you know, like, yeah, just building on stuff like that, and just that being the kind of overarching thing. I would say, the dialogue in general, because it's just great, like, every minute there's like either something nice bit of bant or like
there's always something fun or enjoyable going on
or interesting.
Mordred's laughing is brilliant.
Oh yeah, it's so it just keeps going.
Enjoy that.
Yeah, that was great. And then I'd say difficult. There's a lot.
There's so much good.
Yeah, there is. There really is. I would say just More game in general, actually. More game is really, really good. Sorry, like leave or
Yeah. So okay. My 3 things are 1, just the Brigadier, the Doctor, and Ace. All 3 of them are just absolutely fantastic for the kind of recurrers. And then all the side characters are good except Shu Ling or whatever. But that wasn't really the actress's fault. She does a good performance, but there's just nothing to the character. It's like she somehow gets dragged into this.
Well, yeah, she's just there and...
Like, why does she want to stay with Ace? I mean, she's just met this woman, but, hey-ho. Maybe if she was a journalist, it would have made more sense, because then she was chasing a story.
Something along
that would have worked. But anyway, yeah, so that's the first good thing. 2, I just love all the references. All the references in there aren't crowbarred in. They just make it enjoyable and makes you feel special for kind of watching all of the stories beforehand,
Yeah.
You feel kind of like, like it's been worthwhile. Because
also making sense of people who, who only just jumped in, like, say, the story, for example. Not that you necessarily would anymore, but, like, say if you just jumped into this episode, like, they explained enough to the Doctor, the Doctor worked here before and he was a scientific advisor in space changes and stuff, like...
They fix those problems. And then the third thing, I just say, the story in general. It's a great story, slowly revealing, it's written perfectly. Ben Aaronovitch, who's only written 2 stories, which was Remembrance of the Daleks and this one.
Yeah.
Like, my god.
It's a shame. Yeah,
track record.
It's a shame he didn't write more. I'm almost like, why they didn't ask him to like write an episode of the new series.
Yeah, well, he was actually supposed to be writing one for the season 27, because this is season 26.
Yeah.
But then season 27 got cancelled, so he was actually going to be writing for that one as well.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah,
and then it's a shame. But I don't know why they haven't asked him back, because it's still active.
He's still and he wrote these 2 fantastic stories. Though, to be fair, not a lot of like the older writers came back to write new stuff.
They could still ask, try.
Pretty much. The only one who had like direct connection with both was Graham Harper, I think.
Yeah, but he's director, not writer.
But yeah, he's a director. Yeah. But like he was like, because I don't think none of the old writers really.
I guess you could count Paul Cornell because he wrote the Human Nature story, which is 7th Doctor.
True.
So he kind of wrote classic, but not entirely, and then made it the 10th Doctor. But yeah, there's no writer connection over
which
from
I think
classic
in some
to new.
cases are a bit of a shame.
Massive shame.
Yeah. Though, like with Parents' Dicks, like he wrote some of the novels and stuff. So in a way, they kind of did, but it's. But Ben, I think should come back at some point. Actually.
Yeah. So bad things.
Bad things.
Which they're very few.
Yeah. Overall.
I've got about like 4 lines of just
I've got a few more than that, but I would say that
we'll cut this gap out.
Yeah, we will. Unless you're hearing this now, in which case, whoops. I would say, actually I can't add on to the end, because it's not the end. I'd say people being a bit too accepting of everything that's going on, like the whole King Arthur, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just sort of, they're a bit too like...
That happens a lot in the classic series, to be fair.
And nobody like thinks, like, because like the Brigadier immediately like accepts the fact that this woman is magic, or like the people like immediately accept that this like
they never question how this magic.
Or that they're not just like there's not even a line to ask her if they're just some sort of like parade or fair or something.
Yeah.
Kind of show
like a medieval kind of just reenactment.
Yeah, nothing like that. Second off, I would say the fact that the sword fighting was a little bit unconvincing at many moments, which did like affect some of the axes where the swords don't really have weight, and it's just sort of, you can tell that they're not really putting their all into it. Like some of the best like things when you do like reenactments like that, you at least think that they're putting like their all into it, and like the swords have a bit of weight. And actually, at the fight at the very end, between Mordred and
Anselin.
It is, but like when you see like when the soldiers
big battles.
Yeah.
But when Winifred picks one up, it gets a bit. rubbish.
It wasn't convincing. And finally, and this is probably my biggest issue with the episode, but the ending doesn't really work.
It doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit the episode, and even on its own, like, it just feels off. Like, it just doesn't feel like it doesn't really work. And I think, like, after all of that, it does kind of affect, like...
Yeah.
It doesn't leave with the best taste coming out of it, I'd say, for that.
Okay.
But, like, the rest of the episode very much more than makes up for that.
Yeah. Okay, so my, three ones is, one, the Knights are a bit too funny. They were too funny to make him seem like a threat to start with. They got more threatening later on, but the damage from them being funny beforehand kind of damaged that. One thing I noticed was, like, when the lights go out in the pub, why do they all scream? It's like, okay, it's just the lights. It's not like anything like mad
you don't know. Some of them might be afraid of the dark.
Not all of them. Another thing I noticed was a small mistake was that the timer was out during the Morgane and the Doctor kind of conversation was was jumping out. I think a bit.
Well, that happens a couple of times. That also happened a bit in Robot as well, actually.
Oh yeah, it does.
Like, that's a very long few minutes.
Yeah, and the problem is the sword. The Knights don't really make sense. Why would some have swords and some have guns? Surely you'd all give them the good weapons.
Well, they mentioned about the whole magic being indistinguishable from technology. So presumably, maybe, like, considering that the one knight that had them was the good knight, Anselin.
Yeah.
Had it. Presumably Merlin first off gave that to them, or the Doctor, Merlin, either or. But also I'd assume that, it's a bit more honourable to use the swords.
I guess so. Yeah, but it's just like the unit people would take down the people with swords instantly. It would just be bang, 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 done.
Yeah,
easy.
Sure.
Also, I did like one thing just going back was when like the Brigadier was talking about how they had stuff for like Daleks and Yetis and all that. Like it showed that the unit had been advancing when the Doctor was away. That was really good. But anyway, onto the nerdy. So for the cliffhanger of episode 2, Sophie Aldred was stuck in that tank, but it was accidentally made of the wrong material, the glass. So when there was too much pressure from the water, the glass bulged, causing her to actually get minor cuts on her hands. But Sylvester McCoy was the only one who noticed this. So then he shouted, "Come on, man.
Get her out of there!
Get her out of there!" So then they quickly pulled her up. And actually, if you watch in episode 3 when she escapes from the tank, you can actually see the cracked glass. Because I don't think she was actually originally supposed to go upwards. I think she was supposed to go downwards. But basically, because it bulged, all the water was coming out on the floor, so they had to quickly turn off electrics.
No, I actually think it was meant to go upwards, because if you see the model afterwards, you very clearly comes out the flume at the top. Yeah,
but it's like, why would the water go down? It's because there was a problem. But luckily, they had enough footage to actually fill that in and not have to refilm it. But you can actually see the cracked bulge of the glass and everything. And that was quite scary. So for that, there'll be a link below for the video because it's on YouTube somewhere, so you can watch that if you don't know that story. It's quite a famous story.
It's not in the description. Just look it up.
Yeah. So there's that. The Bessie, the car, the yellow car, it appeared throughout the Third Doctor's era, and then
the
fourth, and then in the Five Doctors it appeared as well.
It did.
So it kind of became a massive kind of icon for Doctor Who, really. Classic Who, Bessie.
There's the one vehicle which managed to remain, managed to kind of stick out, because there was also Who 1 and that weird helicopter thingy that they had.
Yeah, definitely. Sadly, episode 1 for this had the lowest ever viewing number of a Doctor Who episode, which episode 1 only got 3.1 million, which is a lot, but for Doctor Who standards, that is the smallest ever viewing number, which is really sad, because it's such a good story.
It's still more than the later series of Top Gear.
Oh yeah, that got lower and lower and lower.
It's low, but...
Yeah, Nicholas Courtney, this is his last appearance in Doctor Who. By visually appearing. The Cyberman doesn't count, so don't get all the Brigadier appeared. Nicholas Courtney
is brought up again.
But he is brought up.
And Stratagem.
And he does appear in the Sarah Jane Adventures, the episode Enemy of the Bane, where he is absolutely fantastic in that. Oh god, I want to watch that again. I'm going to buy the Sarah Jane box sets, I think, and
I haven't watched any of those since they were broadcast.
Damn.
Never even saw the final series.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Anyway, Jean Marsh, who plays Morgaine, actually has been in Doctor Who before. Once as Sarah Kingdom, twice before. Once as Sarah Kingdom in this first Doctor story, the Daleks Master Plan, where she dies from aging to death.
Which is really brutal.
Yeah,
the episode doesn't exist anymore, but you can see like the pictures which remain at the time, and that's like you can see like the age in her face.
I think they have a small clip of them like turning their heads like that because they have it. I think it's in Babel Colour.
No. The turning the head wasn't from that part of the story. That's from actually an episode which is complete, but like that was
Oh, okay.
That was something else. That wasn't the
But yeah, there is. I know there's a picture of like the dead like ashes, so that's like brutal death.
Well, like, and you can also see her like kind of on the ground, like
they age her face. But yeah, and then she's in the other First Doctor story, The Crusade, where she plays Princess Joanna.
Yes.
She also was married to John Pertwee from 1955, I think, to 1960. So even before all Doctor Who began.
Yeah, which is kind of funny considering everything that came after. Yes.
So Conrad, your conclusion.
Actually, I had one more kind of nerdy thing. Just actually wanted to mention the concept of the whole fiction, being real in some description, kind of was revisited in Robots of Sherwood.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Because I remember some people were questioning at the time, like, oh, why would they have Robin Hood? Why would they make it? But like, you can see it here, like they've done it before,
and it worked. And Robots of Sherwood was fun. It was fun. It was just a match.
We'll get to that, but
Also, a nerdy thing. Ace was the first to say Geronimo. Just saying. Episode 4. Watch it.
Maybe it was said before, or maybe not.
Maybe it has.
Maybe. We'll get there. Don't know.
We'll see it. If it's ever said before, we'll let you know. But as it stands,
or you'll probably point out in the comments.
As it stands,
I'll write a simultaneous long rant about how we're stupid for not knowing that and stuff.
Sorry.
My apologies.
Oh, we're about to hit the 1 hour mark. Wow, we've had a lot to say.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so your conclusion.
So, this episode, in many ways, is really good. It has a wonderful atmosphere. The acting's really good. The dialogue is consistently well done. Not the most variety in sets, but the sets that they use. Actually, the spaceship sets are really good, and like everything very much fits in the story. And like there are so many nice little moments and lore building. But at the same time, stuff like the ending, the ending just not like really working.
Doesn't fit in.
Yeah, does have to bring it down a couple of notches for me. But overall, it's a really good story. That's why it gets my rating of 8 out of 10.
There we go, you got it. Got it first time he's got the out of 10.
Yeah, well.
Okay, my conclusion. I generally cannot believe Battlefield was the opening episode of the final season. A story as strong as this was at the beginning of the end. I'm surprised after this season how the series wasn't given enough a run of another season. With the return of the Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart and also the final appearance in Doctor Who that we did reprise later in Sarah Jane Adventures, it makes this story a must watch. The story flows really well and the character arcs are great even though the new Brig is a bit like an excited puppy and the night scenes are hilarious. Everyone performs well and the costumes are fantastic throughout, and the standout really is in episodes 3 and 4, Nicholas Courtney and Sylvester McCoy just having absolute banter with each other. Some elements of the story are hard to follow with the parallel dimensions where Merlin exists and such, and they didn't like spend a lot of time explaining it. There's like some one-liners which kind of throwaway lines which kind of
but at the same time, that was like very much a thing with like bringing the Who to Doctor Who. Bit more mystery in there.
Yeah. But even though like sometimes it might be hard to grasp, and like even on my third time, I was a bit kind of still having to think about it to give it out. It's still 100% enjoyable, even though some of the special effects are ace, the others are not so good. But this is classic Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I give Battlefield 8 out of 10 due to being fun to watch, with decent threat and entertaining characters, and I mean, damn, the Destroyer looks fantastic. With a continuation of making the Doctor a darker character and Ace's arc, it stands as one of my favourite Sylvester McCoy stories, and possibly my favourite of the final season. If you want to show your younger children a classic Doctor Who story, then I seriously suggest this one, because it's if you don't want to go with the normal genesis of the Daleks and want to go with something much different and maybe much later, definitely go with this one. Or try the black and white story, The Mind Robber, which you can find our podcast review down below or at the side. So in other words, Battlefield is great.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for listening to us rant on for about an hour. Wow.
This will probably. Do you think this one must be split into 2 parts as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cutters mentioned this. So we'll cut that out.
I probably won't.
Oh, great. Okay. So 2 parts, yes. So this will be 2 parts. And yes, so thank you very much for listening to the Eyes of Harmony discuss and review Battlefield. One fact is actually we don't actually talk about what we're going to rate the episodes, so we find out live as we're kind of speaking.
Yeah.
So it's kind of mad that we got the same number, but
yeah, it's funny.
yeah, it's cool. So thank you very much for listening. See you next
subscribe
time.
if you want more, or don't. You know, it's entirely up to you. I mean, don't just be one of More Games' troops. You have to be.
You have to be a brigadier.
Yes, you have to fight off and
Do what you want.
fight it with honour, or not. Or you could join or subscribe.
Shout stop and yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Up to you.
So up to you. And there's more Doctor Who content coming soon because this is a Doctor Who related channel. So if anything else came up, that would be weird. So
Yeah.
see you soon.
Suddenly we just start talking about
Scooby Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
So see you soon. Bye guys.
Bye.
I generally cannot believe Battlefield is the opening episode of the final season of classic Doctor Who. A story as strong as this is was at the beginning of the end. I'm surprised that this season, like this episode alone, didn't get like Conrad's coaster drop. I'm surprised that I'm just gonna start again. Cut this bit, okay? Because this is gone rubbish. Okay.